Hey guys, this is Team 86, and today I have this crazy OU battle that I had the other day. Looking at the team preview, this is actually Volturn versus Volturn. If you don't know what Volturn is, basically it's spamming Volt Switch and U-turn until your opponent gets really pissed off and forfeits. That's basically it. Now, looking at his team, he has the Scissor, he has the landorus-t, but once those two things are taken down, Chansey can easily wall the entire rest of his team. Um, I mean, unless his Rotom has like Pain Split, that could be annoying, but I could trick my Choice Scarf of my own Rotom onto it, making it pretty much useless since it'll be a defensive set. But okay, let's just get into the battle. So I'm going to lead off with my main lead, just Mienshao. He's obviously going to lead with Politoed since I don't have anything set up weather. He just wants to get his rain up as soon as possible. So I'm going to U-turn out. That does not do very much, which is telling me that's probably a defensive set. So I'm going to go right into Rotom, take the Scald very nicely. And I don't want to go for the Volt Switch because he does have the Jolteon and the Landorus. So I'm going to go for the trick, trying to trick the Choice Scarf onto the Landorus, but that doesn't happen. But as you'll see later, that ends up being the better of the two options. So I don't want to take any Thunders or anything. So I'm going to go to my Landorus. And then he goes for the Hidden Power Ice. I get really scared, but it turned out not to be Hidden Power Ice. It's probably Hidden Power Grass for like Gastrodon or something. I don't know. I guess that's okay. So now that since he's Choice Scarf, he's obviously going to want to switch. So I go for the U-turn. It would have been really nice to get Stealth Rocks up since this is Volturn, so everyone's going to be switching out a lot. But I don't. I go for the U-turn, which is pretty stupid, but hindsight is 2020. So I'm going to go into Chansey. He's going to go for the Hypnosis and miss, which doesn't matter that much because I have Natural Cure, but would have been annoying. So now I can paralyze this thing, which really isn't that helpful, but it's alright. So now I don't feel like putting anything to sleep, so I'm going to go right into my Xatu to bounce the Hypnosis back, which does happen. And I'm going to U-turn out, thinking he's going to want to switch, but it actually stays in, so I'm thinking it's going to go for like Ice Beam or something, which it does. So it's definitely a good thing I didn't stay in. So now he's going to switch out into his Landorus as I go for the Wish. And I don't want to take any hits, so I'm going to switch out to Landorus on my own. And he goes for a U-turn, goes into his Rotom. And here I was really hoping he would overpredict, go for the Volt Switch. But that does not happen. And I let my Landorus die basically because I was really stupid. I don't know why I would do that. But whatever. So now I can go into Scissor, get the turn initiative, and go for U-turn. Now I go into Mienshao to bait him into setting up his entry hazards, and then going to Xatu to bounce him back. But he sees that and goes for the Volt Switch. And despite Fortress having pitiful special attack, that does a decent bit. So he goes into his Gonzalez, and I'm thinking Rotom Wash can take a Volt Switch, but actually pulls a Thunder out from his back pocket, which Rotom cannot take at all, which really surprised me, but I guess I really underestimate the power of Jolteon. So I go into Chansey, he goes into his Landorus, which seems to be the main switch in the Chansey. I'm not fearing it that much. He goes for U-turn and only does 16%. But now I'm fearing the Choice Banded Superpower, which is going to happen. So I need to go right out into Xatu. And since he's locked into Superpower, I'm free to go for the Roost, get all my health back. And then I can U-turn, go right back into Chansey, which completely walls his Politoed other than this stupid Hypnosis. But he's just going to go into his Fortress. Doesn't feel like missing Hypnosis. So I'm just going to be spamming Seismic Toss. He thinks I'm going to switch, but no, I'm not. Now he's going to Scissor, and since last time I switched out into Xatu, this time I think he's going to overpredict, and I stay in and go for the Soft Boiled. So basically, I don't know, he just was dumb. So now he's gonna go into that landorus as I go for another seismic toss, a toss of the seismic type. And he goes for the superpower, which scares me, but only does 50%. Chansey is just an amazing wall. I really underestimated it. Now I go into Xatu to take the superpower, but he goes for the U-turn, which is going to be Xatu's downfall, because I don't want him to volt switch on my Chansey, then go right back into his scissor. That would just be pointless. So I'm just going to let Xatu die. So no, he switched out and goes into Politoed. I go into Scissor so I can go for the Choice Band U-turn, which does not do very much. So this is definitely physically defensive Politoed. So now he's going to go into his Jolteon and Volt Switch out into his Scissor. And I'm going to go into my Scissor of my own. And since he locks himself into Superpower and gets these defense drops, I'm going to lock myself into Pursuit, and that is a weak move. He's not switching out, and it is resisted. But I just want to get this Scissor out of here as soon as possible, and after this second superpower with those 2 defense drops, the next Pursuit will be able to take it out. But unfortunately, Scissor is going to have to go down to the Jolteon. That's just how it works. Now I'm going to go into Mienshao to fake it out, so I could get in the range where one more seismic toss would be able to kill the Landorus, and then my Chansey could go on with walling the rest of this guy's team. Now, I don't want Chansey to switch in on an Earthquake and be 2-hit KO'd, so I just gotta let Mienshao die. It's sad. It would have been a really nice late game sweeper, but oh well. So now he's gonna go for the Earthquake, and it would have been a 2-hit KO, but it's not. I really, really wish I'd gone for the Seismic Toss there. That would have sealed me the game, but now I go for the Soft Boil, trying to be a little safe. Now he doesn't want to get into a Stall War, so he's going to go into his Politoed, put me to sleep, and then go into his Landorus to hope that I get like max turn sleep and finish me off with a superpower. But no, I wake up next turn and I'm able to get off the Soft Boiled. Again, I wish I had gone for the Seismic Toss, but I just really want to keep Chansey alive because it's my last Pokemon. So he's kind of desperate at this point, just switching around. I go for Soft Boiled for whatever reason. I go for the Seismic Toss, and Politoed gets paralyzed, which is nice because I don't have to worry about being put to sleep. And I guess he wants to save his Politoed, so he's going to go into his Rotom Wash, which is going to get smacked with a Seismic Toss because it has really low HP. Now, I don't see any leftovers or anything, so I'm definitely thinking his choice and is going to want to trick me a choice of some sort and take away my Eviolite, which really sucks because without Eviolite, I have to depend on my base 5 defense to take on his Landorus, who has base 145 attack. So now I have no recovery whatsoever, and I'm locked into Seismic Toss. And since his Landorus is going to die to one more Seismic Toss, he's going to just go into Fortress, just to die, basically. Because Seismic Toss will be a 2-hit KO, and he can't outspeed me and do anything. So now he's going to go into his Landorus. And this is the moment of truth. Can Chansey take a super effective 120 or so base power move base from her 5 base defense against a Pokemon with 145 base attack? And as you'll see, actually, she does live it with 4%, goes for a toss of the seismic type, and kills the landorus-t, ends his reign of terror, and Chansey is on a roll, ready to wall the rest of this man's team. But then he goes into Jolteon, and revenge kills me, and I lost 3-0, and that's it. Okay, so it was a 3-0 loss, but the rest of his guys were almost dead. His Rotom Wash had like 20%, Jolteon has 26%, Politoed had 25% and was paralyzed. So I'm not even upset that I lost. That was a really good battle, and Chansey definitely earns my respect. That was just a beautiful display. So if you like this video, be sure to subscribe, and until then, I'll see you guys later.